So another tip I thought I would share to help your life be happier is something that I know my mum always struggled with, I've always struggled with, and I know a lot of mums feel pressure about, and that is meal planning. I've got a really fantastic way of doing it. What I do is usually on a Sunday, because I like to go food shopping on a Monday, but you can do it whenever, you just plan ahead for the week. I'll sit and pick what I want to eat, and I've got this printout from a website called Life's a Journal. I'll put a link on there, but you can just download it. I printed it onto card and I laminated it so that I can use erase markers, whiteboard markers, and that way they are always there ready to be reused. Otherwise, I guess you could do it on paper and just decide and write it out that way, but I like to have this because what I do is I prop it up in my kitchen, and then if halfway through the week for some reason we've run out of something, I can add it to the shopping list there that I need to go out and get some extra bits, or also I can use it to write the original shopping list that needed to get stuff for all these meals. The other thing I sometimes do is if it's all from the same cookbook, so I'm having a French week, for example, I will write the page numbers. Oh, pardon me. Page numbers on there so that I can easily find them. And I find that this method works really well because firstly you don't get to 5 o'clock thinking what shall I cook, which I know everyone hates that, because you get there and you think, I really can't be bothered, let's just have cheese on toast or something, or let's just have fruit because I can't be bothered, and that's not a particularly healthy way to go. And the other thing is that particularly women feel like they have to be the ones getting the food on the table, and by having this, your family can see what you're going to be having, so they might be able to start on something if you're delayed. They know what you're going to be cooking. Also, everyone gets input in what you're cooking, so you can ask and say, right, everyone, what do you fancy eating this week? Or do you like the sound of this and do you like the sound of that? And you can have a discussion about what you're going to buy and what you're going to eat, so that you're not having to just raid the freezer and cook whatever happens to be there. I've also found this is a really good way to not waste food. So, for example, if I know that I need to buy really delicate vegetables, I know when they're going to get eaten, I know when they're going to get used. So I don't buy them thinking, oh, it'd be lovely to have, I don't know, rocket this week, and then it sits there and I don't eat it because I've forgotten it's there, and by the time I find it, it's a big bag of sludge. It's disgusting. So this way, I know exactly what I need to buy, I know exactly what I need to use. There's another website that I've seen, but you have to pay monthly or you can pay a subscription for the year, which is called Plan to Eat. I've not used that because I find this paper system, I really like a paper system, but if you like an online system, this is a really great place where you can put all your electronic favourite recipes, and so you make your own mini database, and then it automatically you copy and paste the recipes you want onto a grid, and then it tells you what you need to buy in your shopping list. So it tells you how many bananas or how many onions or whatever. It tells you exactly what you need to buy. So if you find it hard to judge how much of something to buy when you do your supermarket shop, that's a really good way of doing it because it tells you exactly what you need. You might have noticed on here that I've only got our main meals. The reason I do that is because at lunchtime I normally have salad, I have leftovers from the night before, and I usually make a batch of some sort of soup at the beginning of the week, and then I'll have a bit of soup, and then I'll have a bit of leftovers and a bit of salad, so it gets a bit varied. And also if you don't fancy soup, then you've got some other things available to you. But I find that soup's a really great one that you can come back to, because if you've made a big batch of it, it takes no time at all to heat up. You can vary it so it's really seasonal. I usually make my soup based on what I happen to have in the cupboard. So today I made really nice tomato soup, and it had loads of vegetables that had been grilled. So I had fennel in there, onions, potatoes, garlic, what else did I have in there? Mushrooms, and then I just grilled all that and chucked it in a tomato soup base type thing, and I added some barley for some protein. So it's really easy to make your soups, and you can be quite creative with what you're going to make. But I find having soups, also another thing you might notice is that the weekends are free. That's because that's the time when our plans tend to change, what we're doing tends to change, and we're much more likely to be like, oh, let's go out to eat or something like that. And I was planning Saturdays and Sundays, but I found that we weren't using the ingredients, and then I was getting irritated that I planned meals that I didn't eat. So now I don't plan Saturday and Sunday. What I normally do is do a mini plan on Friday where I'll talk about, right, what are we doing this weekend? What have we got left over? What needs eating? When are we likely to be at home? And then we might do a mini supermarket dash on like a Saturday afternoon if we find that we really are missing something that we'd like to eat. But generally, weekends we often go and visit family, or we might have a spontaneous barbecue or something like that, and it's not the kind of thing that I can plan ahead that easily. I don't like having loads of stuff in my freezer, because generally whatever's in my freezer is not what I fancy eating. So the main thing I use my freezer for is for frozen vegetables. I keep my whole wheat bread in there because my husband likes white bread. And so he eats quite a lot of bread. I don't eat very much bread, so I keep mine in the freezer and chip bits off every time I want a slice. And berries, I keep frozen berries and bananas in there. But I found that I don't, and fish fingers. Oh, they're an absolute staple when you've got a small child. So, yeah, that's about all I keep in my freezer. And I found that by keeping less in my freezer and keeping my fridge pretty clear, I'm making much better meals and much better choices when it comes to eat. I might also, onto this grocery list, I might add a few snacks that I'm going to make. So if I'm going to make hummus and I need tahini or I need some more lemons, I would just jot that onto my grocery list. And then the really great thing about this is it's divided into different categories. So you can almost make your shopping list according to the aisles of the supermarket. If you can remember in your mind the layout of the supermarket, you can switch these about and put them in the order that you need to buy them. And that's another thing that really makes life so much easier, is that when you do go and do the supermarket shop, you know, this is what I need to buy down this aisle. I tick, tick, tick. Right, this is the next aisle, and you can work your way through it that way. And it's a much more efficient way of shopping. If you don't categorise it like this, and you're like me, you end up going back and forth, and as you pass by, you buy some extra things that you didn't even want or need or not on your plan, and that's a fantastic way to waste quite a lot of time, money, and also you get really hacked off by the end of it. So, there are my tips on how to plan your meals really well, therefore make your own life happier and easier, and also make everyone else's happier and easier, because they all know what they're having, they all know when it's coming, and they can all give you a hand to create your meals. I hope you've learnt something, and if you've got any ideas or tips you'd like to share with me that can make my plan even more efficient, I'd be very grateful. Take care.